Welcome to Sports from the Couch.
I gotta say, it's the stupidest thing in sports.
With your host, Mike Mercado.
Players cannot stand him. Coaches cannot stand him. Most importantly, the fans can't stand him.
Brought to you by Mercado Airwaves.
I'm gonna say it once, and hopefully I'm wrong, but it's a disaster waiting to happen.
That is so bad, that is absolutely brutal.
Hello and welcome in, friends, to Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. It is Sunday, December 6, 2020 in the beautiful city of Chicago, which means it is week 13 in the NFL. That's right. We are almost in the fantasy football playoffs. We are almost in the NFL playoffs, and the season is coming to an end. So many things on the line, and we are going to see if we can get the right picks for the week. But before we get to all that, let's take care of some housekeeping notes. Follow me on Twitter at MikeMMedia, Instagram, Mike Mercado Media, and the show is also on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Like, rate, review, and shares wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. You become a producer of the show at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home to our interviews with athletes and celebrities that you could get ad-free and before anybody else. That's patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We have swag, guys, just in time for the holiday season at teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Visit us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. And keep up to date with all the podcast news, everything that we dropped, audio-wise, show-wise, opinion-wise, all over the network, from the true crime podcast to the pop culture podcast to our interviews, everything in between, on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. It is week 13. We got to make some picks. Let's go ahead and get right into it. If you are new to the program, the way we do this, I have already made the picks and I have put my confidence in each one. We're going to run down the list and I'm going to tell you why I picked the team and why I have so much confidence in them heading into the matchup. And we'll start off with 15 confidence points on the Kansas City Chiefs over the Denver Broncos. Not much you can say here, whether Denver had their quarterbacks or not, whether or not we saw what happened this past Sunday in that ugly football game, it really wouldn't have mattered. Kansas City's way above Denver. There's nothing I can say here. There's no great analysis that's going to break on NFL Network and ESPN to show you why Denver's going to win this game or Kansas City's going to win differently than you think they're going to. They're going to win this game comfortably. Chances are, if they do get upset, it's going to be upset of the season, maybe the upset of the last 5 years. But it's going to be a game where Patrick Mahomes controls it. They're going to run it down their throats. There's going to be a big play here or there to kind of just end it early. Kansas City wins this one. It's the most confidence I have. This is an interesting one. I put 14 confidence points on the Baltimore Ravens over the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, a lot of this comes down to, is Lamar Jackson going to be taken off the COVID list? Is he going to play? We saw what happened again on Wednesday, that matchup against Pittsburgh, when they had Robert Griffin out there and then they brought in that other kid. I mean, they're just not the same, obviously. Dallas isn't good. And I don't think the difference between Pittsburgh's offense and Dallas's offense, it's enough for the Ravens, who made it competitive against Pittsburgh, to go ahead and win this one comfortably, especially if Lamar plays. If Lamar plays, then yeah, I mean, this is a home run. But even without that, I think there's such a talent discrepancy, and from what we saw, the way we saw Baltimore respond, and we know that their playoff lives are on the line, they're going to beat Dallas. I put 14 confidence points in that matchup. We have the Packers over Philadelphia. I put 13 confidence points in this matchup with the Packers beating Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia, obviously, they're playing for their playoff lives. What, like 4 wins? I get it, but Green Bay needs to get on a roll. They need to beat the teams they're supposed to. They can't have these setbacks like they did just a few weeks back against Tampa Bay. If they're going to be a team that's going to host playoff games and they want to make a run at a Super Bowl and they want to get themselves in the best position where if they have to play Kansas City, they didn't have the toughest of matchups leading into that matchup, or at least when you take care of your own destiny, you might get lucky on the other side of the bracket and the toughest matchup that you might have is out of it already. So to me, Green Bay needs to win this. And it's a week where the whole division, if they lose, that's it. They've solidified themselves as the division champions. Whether or not it's official or not, nobody would catch them. So I think Green Bay against Philadelphia, especially being at home, I'm putting 13 confidence points on Green Bay Packers winning that game. We have the Giants and the Seahawks. I have the Seahawks at 12 confidence points beating the Giants. This one, again, no Daniel Jones, no Saquon Barkley this entire season because of that injury against the Bears. Seattle defense, as questionable as it is, as bad as it's been, there's no competition here. It's the same thing with Baltimore and Dallas, the same thing with Kansas City and Denver. It would be a big upset. It would take a lot for the Giants to beat Seattle. As long as Russ is healthy and he's got Lockett and he's got Metcalf, and if Carson's playing, Seattle's going to win this game. The real question is, can Colt McCoy make it somewhat interesting? Or does he just nullify all the weapons that the quote-unquote weapons the Giants have, if it's even a competitive game? Seattle will let you hang around, and especially no fans in the stands. Like, Seattle can and will mess around and, are susceptible is the word. They're able to get got, but I don't think this is the matchup. I'll go with Seattle in this one. I have 11 confidence points in Pittsburgh over Washington. Probably should have more. I might raise them up in the stands just a little bit when it comes to my confidence points. But bottom line in this one, they're going to win. The only question might be how healthy they are, how much inspiration, how much go-getiveness they're going to have after a quick turnaround and it being Washington that they're going up against. But Pittsburgh being undefeated, really, here's the thing. You're undefeated, and in most years that'd be good enough. Even a loss here or there this late into the season, you should be okay in the seedings. But Kansas City's right on your tail. And, you can't afford, with so many weeks left, to just kind of give them some leeway. So I think Pittsburgh's going to show up. I think they're going to win this game. It'll be interesting to see how they do it. But I don't think Washington can hang on with Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh winning this one. They might move up when it comes to confidence points, but bottom line, they're definitely going to win this one. I have 10 confidence points. This one, not feeling great about, but 10 confidence points on the Vikings over Jacksonville. I don't trust Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon coming in and having an okay game last week is one thing, but he's not going to go out there and take Jacksonville on a winning streak. And Minnesota is starting to find themselves in them. They're getting Adam Thielen back at some point. You just got to think that Kirk Cousins has been playing pretty well the last few weeks. So you got to think that if he just gets a weapon back here and there and Dalvin Cook is actually okay and healthy, even with Madison, they're going to put it on Jacksonville. The real question is, can Jacksonville stay in the game long enough? When they had Gardner Minshew, we used to think they'll put up points. They'll let you score. They could put up points. At this point, I'm not sure if that's a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put Minnesota with 10 confidence points over Jacksonville. I have 9 confidence points on Vegas over the Jets. They're going to New York. And can you really trust the Raiders? If this was almost any other true quote-unquote contender or a team with a 500 record or an okay team, slam dunk, right? But it's the fact that it's Vegas. And I've seen how Vegas has responded against bad teams. We just saw what happened last week against Atlanta. And here's the thing. It wasn't all Matt Ryan who was doing that, right? So, I still think they're going to win. I don't love it. So I put 9 confidence points on that. And it's the same thing with Buffalo and San Francisco. Here's the thing. I have Buffalo winning that game. I have 8 confidence points in this matchup against San Francisco. But it's the same idea as the Raiders and the Jets. You have Buffalo who are going to San Francisco. I guess Arizona, right? They're not even going to San Francisco. They're going to Arizona. And it's a game that San Francisco now could rally together, say we were kicked out of our own stadium, and they've played in games. They haven't been the worst team when it came to what's happened since they lost their quarterback and all the injuries. So, again, this is a game that Buffalo can get got if they're not careful, if they're not paying attention, if they're looking ahead, if they're looking to a New England game or whatever. I think Buffalo is awesome. I think Buffalo winning this game, putting themselves in a position to try to get some form of home field advantage, I think would be awesome for Buffalo. Again, no fans, so it kind of hurts it, but for the morale and, again, moving forward, I like Buffalo in this matchup. Not 100% confident in them, but I put 8 confidence points in Buffalo over San Francisco. We have Cincinnati versus Miami. What a fun game this would have been had Joe Burrow been healthy. It looks like Tua will be playing this game. No Ryan Fitzmagic in this one. I have Miami in this matchup. When I made this pick, Fitzpatrick was still going to play. But now that it's Tua, I'm still going to keep him right there. I'm still going to keep Miami as the straight winner to begin with. Cincinnati's not good. They weren't good with Joe Burrow. They were just interesting. I don't think they're good. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Miami has some things. Miami has, a decent defense, and they have some weapons, and they're getting Myles Gaskin back. I'm going to go with Miami in this one. I want to see Tua play really well. Here we go now. Oh, boy. Let's talk about it. Detroit, Chicago, in Chi-Town. So, look, we talked about it after what was that despicable game on Sunday Night Football. with the Bears and the Packers. And there's just so much nonsense. And like, you go back into the archives. I talked about it. There's not much more we can say about it. Here's the thing. Mitch Trubisky and the Bears usually play really well against these Lions. These Lions haven't looked good the last few weeks. Again, they're the Lions. This is a fool's gold game, I think. I think Chicago wins this matchup. I only put 6 confidence points in those because I don't think either team is playing really well. And Mitch is really susceptible to just throwing interceptions, putting the ball on the turf, and next thing you know, Matt Stafford's put up a bunch of points and you're trying to play catch up. But if it goes to game script, let's say we just play this game 100 times. I think about 70 times the Bears are going to win this game, which is weird to say because I don't necessarily even think they're that much better than Detroit. I just think this matchup, the way these two teams are built, Chicago just eats them alive. Mitch Trubisky just plays well against these formations. And again, this isn't, though, Matt Patricia's Detroit Lions. But again, they're just still Detroit. I'm going to go with Chicago. I said in the beginning of the season, this was a 7-9 team. They're going to finish right around 800. They are who we thought they were. We'll see what happens. I just want this to be an entertaining game. How about that, though? For everything that was, how about just a little entertainment for once in a Chicago Bears game? We have in a very fun matchup, what is a potential playoff matchup, the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. I have 5 confidence points on Tennessee in this matchup. It comes down to, can Baker Mayfield put the team on his, throw the ball down the field and make big plays? We know he can get the ball to his playmakers, but can he make plays? See, Ryan Tannehill does what he's supposed to do. Even though the offense isn't tailored towards him, he gets the ball to A.J. Brown, Corey Davis. He gets the ball to Jonnu Smith. He gets the ball, obviously, to Derrick Henry. And then when Derrick Henry gets the ball, he does his job. Now, there's only so many miles. There's only so many times that car could turn over when it comes to it. So they got to cash in at some point. Cleveland, not having Odell, we're going to, they have their own version of Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. So they do have that match for it. To me, it comes down to, can Baker Mayfield put the team on his shoulder, on that arm, throw it down the field, make big plays, and put it out of reach for Tennessee, where Tennessee can't rely on Derrick Henry. And that's the key to beating the Titans. It's one thing to keep Derrick Henry in check. It's make Ryan Tannehill beat you. And I think that's what a lot of people think about the Cleveland Browns. So I got 5 confidence points on Tennessee in that matchup. We have the Colts and Houston. I have 4 confidence points in this one on the Colts. Houston balled out, but no Will Fuller. Now, Will Fuller was one of the better receivers this season and gets suspended because of PED use. Indy, looking to make a playoff run. Phillip Rivers, this is it. He thinks he has a good defense. If he could get right, can he get the ball to his guys? Is this a dead arm situation? We'll find out, but Houston was looking like they were getting things turned around, and just, again, such a Houston thing. Such a nice game on Thanksgiving. Things are feeling good. And then, boom, you fall right flat on your face, especially with the offseason coming out for Will Fuller, who will be a free agent. And, yeah, I'm going to go with Indiana. I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. I think they're a legit team. And if things fall down their way, they might sneak into a Super Bowl if a team eliminates here or there a contender. How about this one? Atlanta and New Orleans. I'm going with Atlanta as my upset in this week. 3 confidence points in this one. Tatum Hill is not going to go with Matt Ryan. We know this. We know this. So the question is, can New Orleans defense keep Atlanta's offense in check long enough? Todd Gurley is going to play. Julio Jones is going to play. And they would love, Atlanta loves nothing more than to ruin their draft stock by winning late into the season after a horrible start. And has New Orleans really convinced you that they're a top-tier team or that they shouldn't be questioned? This is totally a team and a game that New Orleans loses. I'm going to go with Atlanta in this matchup, guys. And as one of my upsets of the week, I got 3 confidence points in that one. We have the Chargers and New England. 2 confidence points on the Chargers. The reason I find this one a little interesting, Cam Newton is playing. It's all about Bill Belichick versus the kid quarterback. Could Justin Herbert overcome New England? Lamar Jackson couldn't. We know Bill Belichick just schemes for quarterbacks amazingly. New England feels like they can hang around too. They do have some weird confidence about themselves that they can beat anybody any given week. So I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one, and what I feel is an upset. But Bill Belichick, who do you trust, the rookie QB or one of the greatest coaches of all time? Right now, I'm going to go with the guy who has the better arm. Although we didn't really see it last week, right? Interesting enough. And finally, and maybe the game of the week, the one that I don't know, I'm not 100% sure I was going to go. It's the LA Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona needs to win. Arizona needs to win because of just the way the standings are playing out. You have Seattle. You have the Rams who are winning big games. You need to keep up with these guys. I think Arizona wins this win. I got one confidence in this. Again, it's an in-division matchup. Jared Goff versus Kyler Murray. Who do you pick? Who do you got? Kupp versus Hopkins. Who do you got? Now, a lot of the, other secondary players, I think LA might have them, especially on defense. But this seems like a statement game to me. And it's one of those, I can't quite put my finger on the stat that's going to make the difference. But it feels to me like if Arizona is a true contender, or at least wants everybody to believe that they are, they have to win this game. So I'm going to go with Arizona over the Rams and 1 confidence points in that one. But that is it, guys. Let's go ahead and run this bad boy down one more time. I have the Chiefs over the Broncos, and I put 15 confidence points in that matchup. With 14 confidence points, I have the Ravens over the Cowboys. With 13 confidence points, I have the Packers over the Eagles. I put 12 confidence points on the Seahawks over the Giants. 11 confidence points on the Steelers beating Washington. That one might change. I might put Pittsburgh a little bit higher on that one. But nonetheless, Pittsburgh will win that matchup. I put 10 confidence points on the Vikings over Jacksonville. 9 confidence points on the Raiders over the Jets. 8 confidence points on Buffalo over San Francisco. 7 confidence points on the Dolphins over the Bengals. 6 confidence points on the Bears beating the Lonely Lions. 5 confidence points on the Titans over the Browns. 4 confidence points on the Colts beating the Texans. 3 confidence points on Atlanta upsetting the Saints. 2 confidence points on the Chargers upsetting the Patriots. And 1 confidence points on Arizona upsetting the Rams in a divisional heavyweight matchup. That is it, guys. Enjoy week 3 of the NFL. Thank you so much for joining us in our confidence picks. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at MikeMMedia, Instagram, Mike Mercado Media, and the show is also on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Like, rate, review, and share us wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. You become a producer of the show at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home to our interviews with athletes and celebrities that you could get ad-free and before anybody else. That's patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We have swag, guys, just in time for the holiday season at teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Visit us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. And keep up to date with all of the podcast news, everything that we drop, audio-wise, show-wise, opinion-wise, all over the network, from the true crime podcast to the pop culture podcast to our interviews, everything in between, on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.